Welcome to Morocco. Hi everyone. So my 5 tips to come into Marrakesh. The first tip, which can be used worldwide, is to get a Revolut card. Now, a Revolut card is a card that you can use anywhere in the world. Check with the country that you're going to if it's in use. So the Revolut website will tell you which countries can withdraw money from the ATM, or you can use it to pay for your food or anywhere where they accept MasterCard. The only difference is you charge just the exchange rate. You won't be charged extra charges on top of the exchange rate. Usually the exchange rates are competitive, so it's better than going to a bureau de change. If you're shopping, particularly in the Medina, you're going to be approached a lot by people who are offering you things, I guess, and they will be rude about it as well, which is a shame. So if you don't buy anything, they'll be nice to you at the beginning when you're sort of like walking, but once you go into their shop, you must buy something. I mean, you don't have to, but that's the expectation that once you go in, they'll say, "Oh, it's free to see." But once you go in, it's almost like they expect you to come out with something. So on your first day, if you can avoid it, if you're here for at least 4 days, like we were, what you need to do is just avoid buying things on the first day. Make sure you buy things maybe once you're comfortable, once you know what you're looking for, so you're not having to bargain with people because now you know. So you know you can go to different stalls, see the same thing, and usually most of the stores sell the same thing. So they'll start at tourist prices, for example, but there's a certain price that they can't go below, and all of them are pretty much the same. It's just up to you how much you can haggle. So they'll still make a profit out of the low price. There's a profit there. Don't be scared to haggle. Don't be scared of the men, because it's usually, surprisingly, it's a lot of men who are selling. There's not many women within the stalls. Most of them do henna. So yeah, I got a bit of henna there. But then she haggled me as well. She just grabbed my hand and started drawing on it. But I was like, I can't. And I was trying to pull myself away, and she drew this. It's now sort of disappearing. But I managed to get myself away without sort of like messing up the design itself. But yeah, so people are quite aggressive. It's aggressive marketing that they do. We just had our food at the street food places. If you see that there's not many locals eating there, then you know that it's going to be a bit pricey in terms of how much they're charging. So we were targeting sort of like places where we could see quite a few locals who were eating there, and that's where we managed to get our second meal, because our first meal we were charged about 240 dirham. But after we kind of got wise a bit, our next meal was about 140 dirham, and that was even a bit more than what we got the first time in terms of quantities as well. And we also got mint tea, which is part of the tradition. They give you mint tea for free with your meals. It's always good to do research. So research where you're going, research what they do, what the tradition is, research such as simple words. It almost is endearing to them when you say stuff like, with the Arabic, you've got shukran, which is thank you, and you've got elle, which is hello. So it's sort of good to just kind of know a bit about that. But they do speak English. Quite a few of them do speak English, so you can get by. But I would suggest that you use Google Translate. You can type in what you need and then just show them what it is that you want. There is not a lot of people stealing and stuff like that. I did not see that. It actually is a safe country in that respect. So you can hold your phone out. It's not a problem. Download Google Maps. When you're still in the UK or wherever you're coming from, if you've got internet, download the Google Maps. So you can use your Google Maps offline, so you don't have to use the data, and it won't use too much of your battery as well. So if you download the map of Marrakesh on your phone, you can access it without data. So if ever you were in trouble, you can just use your downloaded map, which is brilliant. I remember being on a tuk-tuk coming back from the Medina. And it felt like he didn't know where we were going. So I just checked on my Google Maps to make sure that, the direction that he was going is the way that the Google Maps was showing. My other tips, sorry, I can't remember what number tip I was on. So I'll probably just put them in the corner. But my other tip is when you arrive at the airport, there is no Uber. They try to do Uber, so they don't have Uber in this country, so they just have taxis. The airport shuttle is usually quite expensive. There is a company that charges, that sort of has a pickup, so you can just book with them whilst you're still in the UK or wherever you are. And then you book with them so that they pick you up at the airport. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it again in the corner. And they will pick you up from the airport and drop you off at the Riyadh. We're going back this evening. It's now 15 euros to go back to the airport. This other company charged us around 10 euros, 10, 11 euros from the airport to here. But when we contacted them to say, look, we're going back tomorrow, can you organize something for us? They didn't have a driver. So we're having to use local taxis, and they charge about 15 euros to the airport. If you're staying within the Medina, I suggest you use a tuk-tuk to transport you from your Riyadh to the Medina. There's an association of disabled people they're the only ones who are allowed to operate tuk-tuks, so people without limbs. So I think what they've done is they've said it's only fair that the people who are disabled are the ones that have tuk-tuks. So there's not many tuk-tuks within Marrakesh. You can ask your hotel to call you a tuk-tuk, and they'll come and pick you up and drop you off at the Medina. But once you're at the Medina, there's always maybe 3 or 4 tuk-tuks hanging around to take you back. So I would suggest getting on a tuk-tuk, because tuk-tuks only operate within the Medinas. The good thing about being on a tuk-tuk is that it takes you through the narrow routes, and you can get to see all the markets and stuff like that, which is really, really good, because on your first day, it's what you want to see. You don't want to see big buildings and nothingness. And it takes you directly into the Medina as well, whereas the taxi takes you out just outside of, not the Medina, it takes you just outside of the square. So there's a massive square where everything happens. There's parties, whatever, snake charmers, people, food as well, stuff like that. So at the market, that's where you drop off, so which is a good thing. Whereas with the taxis, you drop off just a little bit off, and then you have to walk into the market. But the tuk-tuk drops you off in the middle, and that's where you also get it to go back. Try to come when it's not their summer, okay? It's February 2024 right now, and it's their winter, right? So their temperatures vary between 11 degrees at night to 26, 28 during the day, like high peak. But I found it really hot. I know it was a little bit cooler at night. I had a little cardigan that I had just to keep warm. But so I would suggest you do the same. My friend had a hoodie that she was wearing, and maybe just a light scarf or something like that, just to keep yourselves warm. But to be honest, the temperatures really drop around sort of like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. So you'll probably be asleep at that time anyway. And they pick up around 11, 12. They start going to about 18, 19, which is not too hot. Like today, most of them, again, I was asking them, and they said, look, if you come in summer, their temperatures can reach 40 degrees, which is very uncomfortable. So you'll be sweating and stuff like that. So try to come during their, and it's also off-peak season, because not many people come in summer. So yeah, so there's not many tourists like that. But I would suggest you come when it's their winter, probably around February, March, April maybe. Did you want to pass, or just having a look? All right, okay, I'm just, yeah. If you decide that you do want to come in winter, like the tourists that I've just been speaking to are wearing shorts and t-shirts. So pretty much, like I said, it's hot. But if you do decide to come in winter, just know that it may not be possible to use the pool unless if you're that way inclined and you like to jump in. The sun, and it will never be directly overhead the pool. for you to sort of enjoy it in that respect. But we did have a little, we did sit here for a little bit yesterday. It was nice just to sit and dip our legs in. But like I say, it is really, really freezing. It's not even, I wouldn't say just cold. It's freezing, as in like fridge water, that kind of cold. So yeah, so but hey, if you want to jump in, they say that cold water is good for you anyway. So yeah, if you're going to do excursions, I would suggest maybe going in the morning because the temperatures are a lot cooler. Or you can go late in the afternoon, so you can get the sunset as well, which is, I think, what it would have been nice if we went, because we went in the morning and it was cooler, like we were on the quad bikes, and because of the speed of it, it was windy, so I had a cardigan on. But by the time we got onto the camels, which is around 12 midday, I had to take my cardigan off because you get to wear the blue, sort of like what the Berbers wear, which Berbers are the original Moroccans. They live in the desert as well. So you get to wear that. If you can manage to go like later in the evening, I think it would be a good time, because especially if you come during winter. But if you come in summer, definitely I would suggest coming in the morning. But yeah, so you can get really good pictures in the evening with the sun in front of you and the desert behind you. Whereas, like I said, in the morning, the sun is behind you, the desert is behind you. So when they're trying to take a picture, the light is fighting. And yeah, you're not going to really get a good picture of yourself. You just probably get a silhouette or something like that. So euros and dirhams, right? To be fair, everything is in dirhams. So when you go to like the Medina, the markets, etc., they'll charge you in dirhams, but the exchange rate is 1:10. So that's like the average. Use euro if you've got €2, that's 20, €100, that's 1,000, and so on and so forth. But it is fairly cheap to get things, to get whatever you need. It is fairly cheap to get food. It's not as expensive as the UK, but if you are buying their local food or going into their local shops, you'll get a lot more for your money. So we managed to get a whole chicken in one of like a tagine, but it was a whole chicken, and we got chips with that, and we got a stew, we got salad, we got rice, we got we got a lot of things, and that was only 140 dirhams, which is about 14 euros. And between the two of us, that's £7 or €7. So that was quite comparable in terms of what we got for our €7 rather than getting a burger. And also it was just good. Oh, that chicken was really, really nice. It had a lemon flavor. Amazing. But yeah. A riad is like a house. So the name riad is house. I guess the rich people back in the day used to live in. So they're sort of like mansions, sort of, but they've been converted into hotels, or, this used to be somebody's house back in the day. I don't know when. The particular place we're staying at has 3 riads. So there's one through there. So I think they knocked through there and they knocked through this way as well. So there's 3. So this is the one in the middle with the pool. But most places will probably just have the one riad with a pool in the middle. And you won't get that in the new town. So the Medina is the old town, and it's walled. There's a wall all the way around it. So within the Medina is where you get most of the riads. If you want sort of like posh hotel, stuff like that you'll find all that in the new town. But then you won't get the experience of being in the Medina, which even the people in Morocco, Marrakesh, say that's the real Marrakesh. That's the real Morocco. If you go outside of there, it's almost like being anywhere in Europe, I guess. It's a bit more modern. Even the roads are a bit more modern. It's not like the narrow roads that you get within the Medina. So if you want to experience book yourself a riad within the Medina, and usually it's about a 10, 15, 20-minute walk to the square, which I spoke about earlier. So what you'd expect with a riad is that once you come out of it into the street, it's not posh at all. It's people's houses. People actually live in that area where you are. So the riad is sort of like the posh house. But once you walk out, it's not tarred roads. It's not, it is local. That's their thing, you know. So it's old. And that's what fascinates me about it, and that's what will probably endear you to do that as well. When you travel within Europe and you're catching, say, Ryanair, EasyJet, I can't remember what the other one is, Jet2, and also pay for extra luggage. So when you book your seat or when you book your ticket, it doesn't come with the baggage allowance. You have to book that extra. So it's like an added cost. So what we did with my friend, I will show you my friend at the end of the video, okay? Because I keep saying my friend. You guys might think I don't know who I'm with, but my friend is Gertis. Anyway, I'll introduce her after this. So what we've done is we came with one bag of 10 kilos, and then we purchased a bag here. So it's a little bit cheaper than having to come with two bags, and then pay either way for two bags. So Ryanair does accept the fact that you can buy a bag here while you're here. So that's what we've done for all our shopping and everything that we've purchased, so that when we go back, we've got two bags instead of one. So we've got two bags of 10 kgs each. You can buy your bag at the market. They're about 100 dirham, 140 dirham, which is about 10 euros, 14 euros, somewhere there. You don't use eSIM. It doesn't work in Morocco, even though it says it does. I bought, because I was a bit worried that when we get to the airport, it might be a bit difficult to sort of communicate with our driver. But when I got there, it wasn't really working. I was using the airport Wi-Fi. So when we went to the Medina on the first day, we didn't have data. Lucky enough, our taxi driver knew where we were going. So once we got there, there's a guy who's selling SIM cards. They're orange SIM cards. So you got that for 10 euros worth. And you get 10 gigabytes of data. That's the other thing as well. With the Airlo eSIM, I paid, I think, £6, which I'm probably going to get my money back from PayPal once I get back. I paid about £6 worth for 1 gigabyte of data. So yes, it's not worth it. The hotel we're staying in does have Wi-Fi. It's a bit dodgy, but you can still get by with Wi-Fi at the hotel. But with 10 gigabytes of data, what we did was we purchased one SIM card, and then we just shared hotspot. So I was hotspotting my friend so she could also access data. You might be charged taxes. So for example, for each night that we were here, it was £2, €2.40 per person per night. So just under 20 euros that we were charged for the 4 nights. This is dependent on each hotel. They're all different, but just make sure when you book that you check that they should be, if they do charge, they should be somewhere within your receipt or a booking confirmation that says, make sure you've got enough left over to pay for your taxes. I really, really enjoyed Marrakesh, and it's been safe, as much as the guys sort of trying to see if you're single or whatever else, and asking you all these questions, calling you Shakira or Beyonce or Michelle Obama. I think they thought we were Americans, but I kept saying I'm from Zimbabwe, and then they'll be like, oh, Zimbabwe, and then we're talking, and then after that I'll be my sort of go-to conversation was the AFCON, which is the football tournament that's just ended. I think Ivory Coast won. So that kind of eased our conversation away from other things that weren't necessary, if you like. You just have to take it with a pinch of salt. It is a totally different country to, the developed countries and stuff like that. But then again, it's an experience in itself. I enjoyed it. My friend enjoyed it as well. And it's been refreshing just being here and just enjoying the sun. Okay, so this is my friend, Gertis. So we traveled together, and it was just good to have Gertie with me and do like a girly trip.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so Gertis is from Lift As You Rise, which is a YouTube channel that she has,
Yes.
and it's about emotional intelligence. intelligence.
Yes.
We're going to shoot a video about that later so you can watch it on her channel, and then you can come back and let me know what you think. But her channel is a bit more educational, unlike some of ours, where it's just vlogging and stuff like that. But yeah, hers is quite educational, quite interesting, quite entertaining. And we've done... What's the topic?
It's an interesting topic called emotional invalidation.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
An
interesting. So I'm going to be co-hosting. So it's my first time co-hosting. So hopefully I can do it justice. But yeah, so this is my friend.
Yeah.
We traveled together. We've known each other for 20 years.
Yeah, I can't believe
Yeah.
that. Really?
Yeah, through marriages, babies, all sorts.
Husbands.
So yeah, so we
funny,
thought,
yeah.
first time round, let's go somewhere.
Let's go
I mean, we've done
abroad.
girly trips like spas and stuff
Locally in
locally in
England,
the UK.
yeah, yeah.
But this is our first time doing something.
Yes, and it's fun.
And it's fun.
I'm loving it.
And I hope you like the tips I've given you. So yeah.
Oh, she's very good, by the way. I actually follow her for those tips for my personal development as well.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Yari Claire and Gertis. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.